Hello, it's Mary Lou here, and one of my customers asked me to please show her how I make my standard traveler notebook covers. So I'm doing this video for her and for anybody else who needs a little help in this department and don't know, where to get started. So I'm going to show you several different ways to do it. You can decide, you can try it. Just try different ways till you find the way that works best for you and the one that you like the best. It depends on if you're going to use it as an insert or just as a standalone journal. Okay, so here's the first example. This is a journal that I created. It's a traveler's notebook, so it's 8 1/4 by, when it's fully opened, would be 8 1/2, so that when you fold it, it's 4 1/4. Okay, so for this one, I used pre-printed, store-purchased cardstock, designer paper some call it. I used one piece, but I made pockets to run down each side of the inside of the front and back covers, and I stitched all the way around them to give them more stability, and it certainly made for a nice sturdy journal. What I did do is I glued lace down what this would be your spine. It's just a bend. So I put lace here to reinforce that spine a little bit. And on the inside, before you sew your signatures in, put another piece of lace down the center of the inside. Now you've got a pretty sturdy cover that should last you for a while. I'm not going to say it's going to last you forever, but it's going to last you for a while, and it gives it a nice sturdy look, and a sturdy, spine. Okay, another way I do them is I use, this is a heavy-duty file folder that I cut down to 8 1/2 by 8 1/4. Okay, I took it so that I would know center, and I just lightly scored it on my score pal. Okay, now like I said, this can be a file folder, or it could be 110-pound cardstock or 67-pound cardstock, whatever you have on hand and can use, and however, how sturdy you want to make it. I use Tyvek. You could use lace. I showed you the lace way. You can also glue Tyvek on either the inside or the outside of your cover, whichever you prefer. Okay, so you glue that down. Let's say we're doing it on the outside of our cover. Then I'm going to take, this is my Rosewood Cottage Traveler's Notebook Kit cover. It's the suggested cover. Certainly you don't have to use it. You could use just a photo or coordinated cardstock with a photo. Okay, what I like to do, actually I put my Tyvek on the inside, so let's turn it over and pretend that Tyvek's glued down there. So what I would do with this, so it won't be too thick to bend nicely, you can do it two ways. You can just glue it on like this, or I have split it down the center so that I can adjust each side out fully to cover both sides, and this covers either way, it doesn't matter, but you can split it apart a little bit so it's not so thick here at the spine. And with this one, sorry girls, I'm still learning to design, but I know that I didn't give you much room to put lace, so I would suggest you put Tyvek on the inside and then just split it, just fold it in half like that, and then you're going to have a journal. So then on the inside, you can either take store-bought cardstock that's pre-printed. You could print a piece in your, of something that you like. You could use a colored piece of cardstock that's cut to the same size. Or here's a page from the kit. This is paper, but it could also be cardstock. Glue it down to the inside. Now on this one, like I said, my Tyvek would be on the inside. Okay. Then this piece would go over it, and then you've got a multiple layer, very sturdy, and that's how I usually make my TNs. So then it would fold, glue it all, line it up, glue it all together, and then let it sit for a little bit before you try to take it to your score pal and then score down the center line. Okay. Then gently fold it to make sure it's going to work. Now, what glue do I use? I always use Fabri-Tac. I am generous with my application of Tyvek, of the Fabri-Tac on this piece. I mean, I cover every piece of it and make sure it's on there very well. Then I put it down, centered to the center line and centered, you know, up and down so that there's a little bit on each side. Then once it's all sat down there and glued, I will smooth it with my bone folder. And of course it'll stick because there's glue. Okay, is that clear enough? Then you would glue this down using the same method. I put glue everywhere, all along the edges and in the middle and everywhere. And so then again, I just smooth it with my hand usually. And if any seeps out, what's nice about Fabri-Tac is that you can either use a glue eraser or you can rub it out with your hand, your fingers. Okay, you can also round the corners, which if you don't, like I did this one, I rounded the corners here. Because if it's not very thick, those corners are going to get dog-eared after a while. So, but when I do it like this, I don't find that they get as dog-eared. But either way, you can round corners on whatever one you want to do. So there would be your TN. Then, once you got all that done, then you poke your holes. However, if you're going to do a three hole pamphlet stitch, which is what I usually use for a TN, and then once it's all folded, this is what it will look like. It is that size and shape. Okay, if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you for stopping by to view this, I hope, short video. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.